Welcome to my little camping masterclass with Cotswold Outdoor and Van Gogh. Today we are going to be just simply looking at how to set up your campsite when you arrive somewhere to make sure that you have the best camping experience. Today I've got a whole bunch of goodies from Van Gogh, all available at Cotswold Outdoor, and using that we're going to bring together a little campsite. So the first thing I would suggest for making sure that you have a successful camping trip is before you leave, get your tent, get your sleeping bag, get your mat, your cook set and everything, and check that you have everything you need. Make sure you've got the right number of tent pegs, the guy ropes are all working, there's no little rips, that everything's working perfectly, just to make sure that when you arrive, wherever it is, you know your tent is going to be in good working order and you are going to be able to set up a shelter, get a good night's sleep, eat some delicious food, and just get on with your little adventure. You've got to the end of the day and you arrive, you put your backpack down. What are you thinking now? So you've got to find somewhere where you're going to pitch your tent. Now, it's really important to find the right spot, because if you find the right spot, you will have a much better night's sleep. So, first things first, you want to find some ground that is flat, and I've got a selection here which is nice flat land which will be perfect for a tent. What you need to do is make sure that there are no hills running down into where your flat area is, so if it rains in the middle of the night, that's not where the water is going to congregate and then end up soaking you in your tent. Now I like to find a place with short grass, because if you get dew and stuff during the night, then walking around and stuff, everything's going to get wet, and it's just simpler to find an area with nice short grass. If you can find some shelter from a tree, that's even better. That will shelter you from the wind. It will also protect you from any dew in the evening, so more chance that your tent will be dry the next morning. If you are going to look for a tree or some big bushes and the weather is maybe potentially going to be a little bit rough and stormy, then make sure there's no dead wood that could fall during the night. You don't want to end up being stuck in a storm, bits of tree flying around. It's just basically not going to be very relaxing. You found your fat bit of ground, you found your shelter, your windbreaker, everything's looking good. You've also got to start thinking things like, where are you going to get your water? Have you brought all your water with you? Or, like me, do you have a nice big reservoir right next door? Where are you going to go to the loo? Really important to think about these things to make sure that you're not going to be causing any kind of disruption to the area around you. Where are you going to keep your rubbish? You don't want to keep your rubbish too close to your tent, because little animals during the night may come scuttling and finding that. So you want to get somewhere where you can keep your rubbish maybe 20 meters away. I always take a little kind of dry bag with a clip so I can attach it to a tree or something so it's not on the ground. It just makes it less likely that animals and critters are going to come and annoy you. Next thing you do is get my kit out ready, so I can lay it all out. And I like to do things in kind of order. So once I've got my tent ready, I go, right, here's my sleeping mat. This is a Trek 5 standard. It's a self-inflating mat just to make life a little bit easier. Then I get my cooking stuff out. So I've got a little Van Gogh cook set here, one person. I've got a little mug. I bring out my tent, put that over where the tent is going to be set up, and then sleeping bag with the sleeping mat. This is an Ultralight Pro 100, so put that there, and they are all my goodies. Now, because I knew where I was going to be, I have brought water with me. These are actually the water bottles that Van Gogh provided me for my 17,000 kilometer run through the Americas. Exact same bottles, still working. So now I set my side, and now it's about setting up your tent. So they've got a nice 2-man mountain tent from Van Gogh. This was used for Aconcagua. This was used in Mongolia. It's a great tent, very sturdy, maybe a little bit too extreme for kind of camping out like this. However, it's going to do the job. We'll lay the tent out. Comes in 2 parts. keep that part separate. First thing I want to do is just make sure that underneath there are no bits sticking up, no rock. Just want to make sure that everything is going to protect your tent. Right, the next question is, where do I want the doors? Now very luckily this one has two doors, one at each end. Sometimes the doors are on the side, you need to know where your doors are. Where are you going to do them? I want my door to be away from the hedge, and I want to just check where the wind is coming from, so over there. So I don't want the tent side on to the wind, so I want it that way. So this is a long tent, so I'm going to use that entrance. I'm going to keep this one closed as the wind comes this way. For me, that just means it's nice and sheltered. So now, time to set up the tent. Lots of lovely little tent pegs to go in. I like to just do a kind of rough mapping out of the tent to start with. Make sure it's all good. Right, second. One of the things I find really important is bags. You will end up with empty bags. Make sure you keep your bags together so you don't lose them. What I like to create is a bag of bags. So there is a bag for your sleeping mat, there is a bag for your tent pegs, there is a bag for your tent poles, for your sleeping bag, everything. Put them all into the outer tent bag, and that means you're not going to lose any of your bags. And now going to get the tent pegs, tent poles, pardon me. Right. So here we have a lovely semi-self-erecting tent. In terms of the poles, they all flip together, nice, makes sense, everything flips over. Now this one, they kind of cross over, so once that's all done, what I find is a two-man tent sometimes takes two people to set up, but we'll try doing it ourselves. So slot this into the pole, keep the tension on it as I walk over the tent to the other corner, and then plant the pole there. There we have the basic structure of the tent set up. Then we have these lovely side ones through, and the lovely, and the silver poles. Generally the tent poles will correspond to where they're meant to be on the tent. So here we have silver to silver, green to green. You just have to look. Sometimes the poles will have a bend in to help you with your tent. So just make sure you got them all bent the right way. It's a bit off. And just turn that around. There we are. Clip. It's around there. Clip. Keeps these together by going round both of them. Now we have a lovely, we're starting to see our home come to life. Silver tabs going to silver poles, green tabs going to green poles, and get these all set up. So it brings back lots of memories, this tent. I spent 11 nights on Aconcagua in this tent with my friend Al, two of us sharing. And the great thing about this tent was it's got two entrances, which meant we both could keep our backpacks at different ends of the tent. Our kit didn't get messed up, and we had like a little bit of privacy, a little bit. He was very, very good at making sure the tent was flat. And it's really important if there's two of you, because if there's two of you, you might be going head to tail, which means if one person, if you want slightly not flat, then someone's head is going to be at the wrong side of the tent. Up now, make sure the doors all correspond. Bring this over the top. Nice. Now if you know what the weather's going to be like, you might not need to put the fly sheet on, just sleep with it. Now here it's a lovely blue sky, probably going to be easy, but or just clip it in anyway. Once the tent pegs are in, extra ones around the edge just to make sure you aren't going anywhere in the night. Finally, the guy ropes, just to make sure everything is secure. And there we have the tent set up. Collect up the bags, put them inside the bag, and there we have a lovely two-man tent ready for the top of the mountain or in a nice park as I am right now. Once your tent is up, it's time to work on the inside. So first thing first, get the mat, remove all the packaging, place into the bag of bags. Try and keep this as clean as possible. Open it up. It's now self-inflating. The mat is doing its thing. This is a clever little sleeping bag. It comes with its own kind of compression sack. You just unclip here and then pull off the top. This allows you to get your kit a little bit more compressed. Again, bag into the bag of bag, keeping your sleeping bag nice and clean, and then that is in the tent and your bed is set up. Some people like to bring a pillow with them on holiday camping. It depends how much luxury you want. I personally don't do that. I would probably grab the bag from my sleeping mat and then stuff it with a jumper, and that would be my pillow. So just inside my tent at the moment and just having a quick look around. I've got my mat down, I've got my sleeping bag ready. Always good idea to have a sleeping bag liner. Will keep your sleeping bag cleaner. It will also add a couple of extra degrees of warmth if needed. When you're inside, you've got some great pockets, always in tents. This one's amazing. It's got so many pockets to put valuables. Always nice to keep things you don't want to get scratched or are valuable in these pockets so they don't get lost around on the bottom. Always nice to try and pimp your tent a little bit. So this has got some lovely little hooks here and here. So what I tend to do would hang a clothesline using a spare guy rope around there, just so when you get to the end of the day you can hang your socks up in your tent and they will dry overnight. Also, I would make sure you have a little one at the top so you know how you're going to attach your lantern and things like that. So there's a couple of tips on what I would do there, but that's the inside. Let's go back outside. So when you are doing your cooking, I'm going to tell you, do not cook inside your tent. The tent is made out of fabric, which is brilliant for keeping you dry and sheltered at night. It's not brilliant when it comes into contact with flames. So make sure you're cooking outside. Also, some people like the romantic notion of building a fire. The problem with building a fire is it's going to scar the ground. It's going to leave a mark, and also it's going to degrade the quality of the soil under the fire. So it's really not a very responsible thing to do. So try and use something like a stove, like a gas stove or something like that. If you want to have a fire in your car camping, take a fire pit with you that's raised off the ground. Try and just leave, you want to leave your environment as if you've never been there, as if no one has ever ventured into this place. You want to leave it as you would expect it to be for the next person. You want to find a nice flat piece of ground close to your tent, but not too close. You want to then get your cookware out. This is a hard ionized one-person cook set from Vango. It's got these lovely little handles. It's got a top, so you've got two different types of cooking apparatus with you, and then I've got a big gas canister here. So you want to find something that's going to be nice and firm, so you are not going to knock over your cooking when you're out camping. I have had this problem walking the Hayduke Trail in Utah, where water is very scarce. I didn't think about everything, and I was doing my cooking. I poured the very little bit of water I had in to my stove, and then it fell over, wasting my water and causing me to cry. Unfortunately, not enough tears to replace the water. However, just get a camping stove burner and just stick it on top of your gas here. Make sure you have a lighter. I always like to take 2 just in case, and then you put that nice and secure. Fill up your water on top, cook your meal. Make sure you let everything cool down afterwards so it's not going to melt anything, and then that is your dinner done. I really urge you, clean everything the night before. You don't want to wake up in the morning after a night in a tent and everything's dirty. So take some kind of biodegradable soap. I like to take a little sponge, which I've cut in half just so it's small. Make sure everything is cleaned, dried, and then I normally leave it in the little front hallway of my tent overnight so it doesn't get too wet with any dew or anything like that. And that is my camping tips and tricks. You have to just logically think, is all my kit in working order before I leave? Yes? Excellent. Nothing needs fixed, nothing, no extra tent pegs, no guy ropes. Lovely. My cooker, the gas, have I got enough gas for the distance I'm going? Excellent. Then you have to think, where am I going to get my water from? Have I got water supplies along the trip? Do I need to carry all my water? Do I need to filter my water? Do I need to take some chlorine tablets? That kind of stuff. So think about water. Where am I going to go to the loo when I'm in my camping area? Do I have a trowel to be able to dig a hole? Do I know how I'm going to responsibly take the loo roll out? Excellent. How am I going to be cooking my food? Got all your stuff ready? What am I going to be eating? Make sure you have delicious food that is going to agree with your body. Don't just start eating lots of sugar, which is going to upset your stomach. Eat good, wholesome, delicious food to help you enjoy your camping trip. Make sure you take along a bag so you can clear up all your rubbish. Everything goes in the bag. No one even knows you've camped. When you're setting up your tent, make sure your tent is not somewhere horribly visible that's ruining the view for someone else. Make sure you've asked permission to be where it is you are. Make sure you're not too noisy. Like, a lot of people come out to the countryside to enjoy the peace and quiet. So shrieking and shouting and running around, just be conscious of the environment you're in. If everyone else is doing it, then fantastic, join the party. If everyone else is seeking a bit of peace, quiet, tranquility, then respect that and do likewise. When it comes to taking your tent down again and packing up and making a breakfast and all that kind of thing, I have a very strict routine which might be useful to you as well. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm all nice and warm in my sleeping bag and I'm getting ready to venture out into the cold morning air. I like to just get everything done in a certain order. So as soon as I get out of my tent, I put my as soon as I get out of my sleeping bag, I get my sleeping bag, stuff it into its bag. I then, in the tent, do my sleeping mat, and get that all taken down and folded up and put into the bag. And then I pack everything up inside the tent and put it inside the bags that it comes in. And then, when I'm getting out of the tent, I'm removing everything myself, and everything comes with me. So the tent is empty, first thing. Then I go over to my camp kitchen. I'll set up the water to start boiling, to get my porridge on the go, my morning coffee, whatever you have. Get that all started to kind of get the motions going there. Then I turn to the tent, and then I take the tent down and pack it away. And then when I finish that, my food is ready and I can sit back, relax, enjoy my breakfast without having to think about packing, because that's all in the past. And then I can just clean up what I need to clean, and then I can be on my merry way, nice, efficiently, and with the peace of mind that everything's done. So this part of the video is the challenge. I am going to walk into my camping site and how quickly can I set up my camp, get a meal on the go, get a cup of coffee. I'm going to time the whole thing from the moment I put my bag down on the ground. Once I've done it, that'll be the time to beat. Can you get your camping setup refined so well that you can beat me? Now, I'm going to put a proviso in there because I'm a competitive person. I'm going to be using an expedition tent which was designed to be on mountains as opposed to quick camping. Just saying. Anyway, right, opening up the thing. Right, camp kitchen, inside tent. Oh, come on, get out! Tent, sleeping bag, water, food, drink, fork, bag off to the side. First thing I'm going to do is set up my cooker to get cooking. Finding a nice secure piece of ground. It's going to be nice and firm. Getting my stove out. Put this on. To there. Stove out. Water. I need a full one of them to make my meal. Oh, a little bit of rubbish in there. Put that out. There we are. Gas on. Water on. Right, food. Peeling the bag, but not all the way so I don't lose the little plastic thing. Opening that up, ready. Dry pack sachet out. All ready for water. Here, cup. Got my drink. That's open. All ready for water. This in the pocket. Don't want to lose that. Don't want to make any rubbish. Right. Tent. Sunglasses here. Tent. Right. Finding a nice area. Flat. Protected. Wind's coming this direction. So, tent. Oh, come on, tent. Tent out, bag to the side. Split the tent into bits. Here is my tent. Lay it out. Down. Tent pegs. Open. Keep it close. Tent peg down. Tent peg down. Pulls out. Putting the bag in the other bag so I don't lose it. The main part of the tent coming together nicely. Water's looking good. Going well, going well, going well. Good, keep going, keep going. Nice, nice, nice. All in. Right. Tent peg in one corner. And then hold it. Good. Oh, come on. Left. Right. Oh, for Christ. Why when you're doing things quickly? Just in ground. In the hole. Lost a few seconds there going too quickly. Oh, now we've got tree problems. In the hole. Ground. Would be easier with two people. There we are. This going in. Lovely. Beautiful. Down. Another pull. Under. In. Round. Beautiful. Down. Up. There. That's not bringing these things up together. Clips on. Clips on. Come on. Come on. Clips on. Clips on. We got it. Doing good. Right. Attach. Countless clips. As I said, this is an expedition tent. Built to be strong, not quick. We're doing well. 5 minutes 33. Nearly there. Nearly there. Doing nicely. Don't want to miss any of these. Clipping on. Clipping on. I'm doing one. Water's boiling. Gas off. Water in. What is it? Level 6. A little bit more. Level 6 it is. Give it a stir. Nice stir. Good stir. Get in there to the bottom. Clean. All the way up. 6 minutes 20. So 21 minutes looking at. Going to keep that water back to the tent. Going well, going well, going well. Tent up. Right. Top on. At the top round. Start the clipping. Right. Boom, boom, boom. Clip. Let's clip one. Clip one. In. Clip two. In. Clip 3, in, clip 4, in, clip 5, come on! Right. Sleeping mat. Nicely out. Come on. out, click for self-inflate. Bag into the bag of bags, clip, open, take the bag out, into the tent, into there, 10 minutes, 8 seconds. The food will be ready soon. Tent is set up. 10 minutes, 8 seconds to have a hot drink in my hand. Full tent set up, sleeping bag in, sleeping mat in, food cooked and done. It's pretty good for an expedition tent. Pretty happy with that. Looking forward to seeing how quickly you do it. Hopefully you don't go too quickly. I had some mistakes because I just went too quickly. I'm going to sit and enjoy this now. So now we've come to the end of today's video. If you have any questions you want to get to me, if it's Easter weekend, I will be available on my phone to be answering any comments you make, any questions you have. It doesn't matter what the question is. I've done stupid things. If you don't know what you're doing, ask the question to avoid doing the stupid things. The only way I've learned is by making mistakes and learning from others. So send me the questions. If you're watching this video in the future, then send me a message. Jamie is adventuring, DM me and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Again, if you want to ask about kit, if you want to ask about camping, you want to ask where camping is, just lots of little things, let me know and I will get back to you.